Conscious Collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, change makers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, everyone. This is Lisa.
And I'm Emily, and we are the Conscious Collaboration Podcast. What up, guys? What up, Lisa?
Hi. Good to see you again.
Good to see you still. So we're laughing because we've actually been talking about this for the past hour or so. But for today's episode, we decided to kind of springboard off of last week's episode with the lovely Aquania Hicks, where we were really doing some deep dives into, health care issues with the healthcare system, issues with nurses, things like that. And of course, that's just ever present in people's lives. It's open enrollment time for health insurance. So it's really kind of a big theme right now. And, without going into other people's identities or medical details, just some things that I've experienced in my personal life recently or observed rather, when people are dealing with a medical issue. And of course we can and should turn to modern medicine, to see what they have for us, what resources are available. But oftentimes, all the time, there is a limit to, the benefits that modern medicine can provide things, especially, with particular medical issues. But people often get frustrated and say, well, why can't the doctor do more? Or why aren't they telling me more? Why aren't they doing more? Why aren't they giving me more medication? And really, I noticed that these people are just giving all of their power away, all of their own health care power away. Because like I said, as we should, of course, utilize modern medicine and, take the input that we get from there is so much that we can do within our own power to take a lot of that health strain off of ourselves, and then to take a lot of strain collectively off of the healthcare system, if we were all to sort of really examine how well we're utilizing our own power. And I'm talking really getting down to basics, the stuff that I'm always talking about. But, if everybody were to really get a handle on some sort of basic nutrition education, for example, we would probably eradicate a lot of the things, type 2 diabetes in particular comes to mind, but we would really eradicate a lot of the things that we are commonly dealing with as Americans in most developed countries, that are making us live shorter lives, that are, causing deaths directly, and decreasing the quality of life. Not just nutrition, but of course, exercise, strength training, making our bodies literally stronger and more durable. And, then focusing on foundations like hydration, grounding, connection to nature, getting,
reduction.
A proper amount of sunlight, and all the sort of mind, body, wellness things that we talk about on a regular basis, breath work, meditation, yoga, fascia-based movement, all these things. I think we tend to look for the complex. I think we were just talking about this last week too, but I think as Americans, especially, we sort of look for the more complex answer to start. But if we've neglected the foundations where we really do have some power and some control over our own lifestyle choices and our own education about what's going in and on and around our bodies, we could make drastic differences and probably in a lot of cases eliminate the need for the use of the modern medical system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our inner game, what we input into our minds and our bodies, it shows up. And we talk about too, and we were talking about as we were preparing too, how much that we impact and how we're showing up in our lives. If we're not healthy, it's negatively impacting those in our circle, who then become our caregivers, or it impacts those who we are showing up and needing to take care of ourselves, or our clients, our family. So really taking control and empowering ourselves to, on the front end, have that knowledge and self-knowledge, that awareness of ourselves and what we are, anything we can do to feed ourselves with knowledge about ourselves, what we need to intake in terms of nutrition, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's funny that you use the phrase "feed ourselves" with that, because I think of all the things I named, I think that's really sort of where we're the most lost and what could make one of the biggest impacts, because it's really, simple stuff, not easy, mind you, but simple. And, the fact that weight loss is such a, multi-billion-dollar industry. There's so much just garbage out there, and, some good information mixed in, certainly, but it's really hard to separate the good from the bad, the legit from the bullshit, and really make sense of things. But know that at its core, nutrition is actually quite simple. So I think a lot of people, including myself for a long time, sort of resisted and brushed off really learning about it because it seemed too much. It seemed like too complicated, like I couldn't be bothered with it. But once I felt the power of understanding how much and what your body needs to do what you want it to do, and ultimately look how you want it to look, it's crazy. It's crazy the difference that it made.
Yeah, it's like very unlocking of a lot of things once you can get your nutrition right and know. And I know that's like one of you've been talking about in previous episodes. And I know through training with you, you're a big proponent of teaching your clients to log and understand, as you did, as I did as well too. Be the scientist of yourself and take the time to learn and log everything that you take in a day and the components of that. And if you do that over a course of several years, it starts to become part of your lifestyle. You don't have to go through that.
And you don't have to, track macros for a lifetime. That, that's certainly not necessary. But if you really commit yourself to tracking in some way, even if there's ways to do it without literally counting calories as well, but if you dedicate yourself to tracking in some form for even several months, you can really develop the skills to sort of intuitively do that for the rest of your life without having to stress about it. And it's infinitely harder to have an intuitive understanding of what you should be eating if you never look at it.
Right. Well, just like, we were talking with Ephraim about finances. If you don't look at it, you're not
exactly. It's exactly the same. Yeah. You can feel like you've got a feel for what's going on, but often when you sort of put everything out on paper, so to speak, then it's completely different than what you thought.
Yeah. That's one way to take it back.
Mhm. But it's so simple, and it doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be a miserable practice. Once you learn it, um, eating can absolutely be fun and joyful and sustainable.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about too, and going back to the idea of empowerment and versus victimhood,
Mhm.
and the stress that being in that state of victimhood and trying to fix things on the back end, like when symptoms start to manifest and show up and start to get out of control, when things start to be breaking down, it stresses not only the healthcare system, but also caregivers
Mhm.
and those around. So what is it that are there other ways that you see this showing up in the collective right now?
Well, yeah, sure. And you mentioned, kind of that idea of victimhood. And I think not only with nutrition, but just all these other aspects, people are really um a lot of times full of excuses, or would rather sort of blame their lack of knowledge or lack of application on a condition or a symptom or an environmental factor. And we have more control than that. Even if, it's something, of course, I can't, make a concrete example for every state of dis-ease that exists, but
Mhm.
Even the things that are completely out of our hands, we can have some effect on it.
Mhm.
Period. We can always make something better
Yeah. It's like going back to
in
being your
some
own
way.
hero.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it is also going back to our episode about motivation versus discipline.
Mhm.
A lot of it is just going to be making a commitment to yourself and your health in whatever way, that shows up best for you, and finding that discipline to apply yourself and your consistency to it, um, for years, for your lifetime,
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
order
Establish
to
it.
really
Mhm.
take control of that.
Yeah. Take control and
Hmm.
maintain it.
You can always do something, always, because your lifestyle is within your control,
So we were
right?
talking a little bit too, as we were leading into this conversation, about the idea, and in the previous episode, that health is wealth. That
Yeah.
you and it's overwhelming. As we are getting these phone calls from for open enrollment, and which providers are you going to go with, and there's a high cost attached to that. And certainly for those that are in entrepreneurship, and we see it here locally, there's a lot of people without health insurance or any
Mm-hmm.
type of healthcare
Mm-hmm.
at all. Um, but and that's certainly understandable. But you were
My
sharing too.
first, yeah, until, very recently, I went without when I opened the business.
Yeah, that's the first thing
But
that
it's
we
it's
like to
it's
make a cut.
risky. That was the almost the scariest part of opening a business is, you know, trusting that my health would maintain enough to get me through until I could get some health insurance. And
Yeah.
I'm not encouraging people to take that risk on just for the hell of it.
Yeah, it's wild as we think about entrepreneurs not having healthcare in one of the
Mhm.
most stressful situations for a lot of people to undergo.
It
And
definitely emphasizes the importance of really doing everything that's within your power, to maintain your own health and to thrive. You need to be, that's the health is wealth connection. In order to thrive in your business, you really need to be thriving in mind and body as well. For longevity, you can last for a period of time, just overextended and crazy, but for longevity's sake, your vessel is what's carrying out the entrepreneurship. So, and it's never going to be easy.
There's no time.
There's always going to be some level of stress. So knowing how to manage that and not have all the other aspects of your life adding stress, including and especially your health, is crucial to your business survival.
Yeah. So like whatever you can put towards investing in your health, whether it be in some form of healthcare or insurance, but certainly in programs that are helping you keep your body strong or your
in learning things that will allow you to learn the skills for yourself, because everybody can do it. Everybody is capable of having that basic nutrition knowledge. Everybody is capable of moving their body with intention and strengthening their body, even with no equipment access, right? Mm-hmm. It's just taking that initiative to invest the time and sometimes, some money into learning those habits for life. And I guarantee you, it will save you exponentially on medical bills in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've been talking a lot about rest and restoration too. Mm-hmm. And making sure that you're nourishing yourself, not only with what you're intaking in terms of food, but with rest and your sleep, the quality of your sleep, the breaks, the mental health breaks, taking walks, unplugging every now and then. And you said something interesting too, that I think goes along with that is, really, as we're talking about creating boundaries for ourselves and our time and our health, is doing things that feel good, like follow your yeses, right?
Follow your yes. Yeah. I had a really great conversation with a client this morning, and that's how she painted the picture that she was working with right now. And really, she's just talking about intuition. But it definitely loops in with the concept of like self-care being a duty of your health, and devoting time to your health and devoting energy and rest to your health being a duty. And on top of that, not overextending yourself for, we can lump it all in together by saying basically ego-based reasons, but because you want to be perceived as helpful or something like that. So if, when an opportunity to do something comes your way, right?
You need
follow
to make
your
sure
yes.
You have that.
Yes.
You have enough energy to pursue it.
Understand what your body and your energy is telling you as far as yes or no. Do I have the capacity for this right now? And follow your yeses and honor your no's, and get out of that mindset, that self-sacrificial mindset of saying no being a selfish thing, saying no to choose your health in that moment being a selfish thing. Because choosing yourself, and this was another little nugget I got from my client this morning, choosing yourself or what is in your own highest good is always actually for the highest good of the collective.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going with your nose, you're overextending yourself, you're letting your energy leak out. It's like that little phrase that we came up with in last week's episode: if everything is important, nothing is important.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's like watering it down.
Mm-hmm. So follow your yeses, honor your nose and just squash that view of honoring your nose being a selfish move.
Yeah. And going back to the concept of your personal health and wellness being the top priority. And that's hard as we think about people that work shift work, single parents, entrepreneurs we mentioned, even just anybody right now at this time going, into holidays is the time that we're recording this. Sometimes it's hard to say no, but
Absolutely it is. But if your health is not
right
at 100% where it should be, you don't have to give to others, or what you have is of much lower quality.
Exactly.
So you can't really effectively make your intended footprint on the world, and your family, your coworkers, the people that you're serving at work, whatever the case may be. You can't make that footprint on the world if you're not taking care of yourself, period.
Yeah. And what do we were talking a little bit too about being around people and we see them suffering or floundering or looking for someone else to or the healthcare system to jump in and save them. I think one of the best concepts that we were just discussing ahead of time was being a good example rather than, like you said, nagging someone.
Right. Well, it's hard to get any kind of message across when you're nagging or insulting someone. They're not going to be receptive to what you're saying at all. So I think that the best thing you can do is just model that concept by doing all the things for yourself, and the people around you will see you thriving and be inspired by you. And so, yes, I was saying this caveat in the collective as well. Understand that as you glow up, there will also be people around you, some who are very important to you, perhaps, who are not ready to raise their own vibration in that way yet, or maybe ever. And a lot of times someone else's elevation will trigger them. So, you may be prepared to get some negativity or some discouragement from some people around you. But I think overall, the potential to inspire others and make a really big effect that way far outweighs the risk of those who may kind of come at you otherwise.
Yeah.
Know that it might be there. Don't let it throw you off course. And keep doing it, because there will be people watching you who will never even say anything.
Yeah. I think it also underscores the importance of who's in our circles and taking care of one another. While someone might not be strong in one way, they might bring value in another, but it's that reflection back of who we are in the circles that we keep or that we engage in. Yep.
And part of that is, all of this is being mindful of your consumption, right? But your consumption also includes people around you.
Yeah.
And the energy that
invest your time
giving. And of course, some people we can't just eliminate from our lives, but I think it's really important to recognize who kind of fits into what category, and just maybe be a little more protective of yourself and your own energy when you do have to be around those who aren't as supportive.
And I think it's also important to really just have that courage to show up as who you are and what you believe in and your convictions. People feel that, and it might help them come out of whatever shell that's holding them back at the time.
Yep.
So there's a lot of value in that, and interacting with people that, not just your family, you know, the family that you're born into, but the family that you create as you're going about life. Yeah. So I think also like being healthy could be like a love language. It's like a love language that's not spoken about, but in relationships, in business, and in, you know, as we are collaborators in business or in personal relationships, family or romantic or friendships, having that priority being healthy and showing up in that way. And then that accountability factor that we always talk about, like that's a love language. Like,
well, I also think, you know, if someone doesn't love themselves enough to take care of themselves on a fundamental level, how can they ever really give love to another person?
Yeah, exactly.
Like really, really, really.
Yeah. I mean, it causes an imbalance.
Or receive
right.
love from another person.
Yeah.
If they can't give themselves, you know, that level of respect.
Yeah. I like it. I like where we're going with this. So what can we leave everyone with today, in whatever situation that they're in, as we're talking about, you know, some people might be coming into open enrollment and they're not, they're not able to jump in. Some people may be around a lot of people during this holidays that they're seeing them deteriorate dramatically. Like, what are some pointers we can leave with everyone out there?
Well, as always, since you can't control the external circumstances, start with you. Start working on you immediately. You know, some self-evaluation. What are my strengths? What can I improve on here, knowledge base wise, and start to build your knowledge base around basic nutrition concepts, basic fitness and strength concepts. If you're at a level where you really just don't know anything about it and need some guidance, by all means, hire a coach. You know, there's all kinds of options for the delivery of that kind of service these days. You know, read books if that's your thing, podcasts if that's your thing. Just try to, again, manage what kind of information you're consuming, and if it's, you know, seems too good or too easy to be true or too quick to be true, then it probably is. Because, you know, getting healthy and getting strong and changing your body composition and changing your body's chemistry and you know, certainly any issues that it has progressed to, that takes time, you know, months at least to start really seeing and feeling results, and years to, you know, sort of achieve the bigger milestones. So this is a lifetime undertaking.
Yeah. Physically and mentally too. We were talking about the
time to start educating yourself and applying the things, you know?
Yeah. Putting in those lifestyle practices.
Yeah, absolutely. All the stuff I'm always harping on, breathing, grounding, getting your sunlight, hydration, sleep, all those things, walking.
Yeah.
Well,
Get
on it. Get on it, people.
I'm on it. I made a list. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to answer any of those scam callers that are coming through on healthcare. Healthcare.
Let me holler at them.
I have a list for them. But yeah, you know, like it's encouraging to think about ways that we can empower ourselves, take back that onus, and know that we can prolong our lives and enrich it and also impacting our even our wealth in a significant way just by doing some of the things that you mentioned.
Yes. By making yourself healthier and more vital, every aspect of your life will improve. You can almost guarantee it.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I'm ready. Is there anything else you want to add before we let everyone go about their day in a more healthy way?
So. I don't think so. Just get on it.
Yeah. We're big
Get
fans
on it,
about
people.
it. The collective is buzzing in our Facebook private group. We invite you to join us there at the Conscious Collaboration Collective. And we hope to see you there. You can see the links provided in our description. Reach out to us, send us emails. We appreciate you and hanging out and spending time with us. And we hope that we're leaving you with some insight that will help you carry through in your day with more empowerment in a healthy way.
Absolutely.
Well, Emily, it's been fun as always and very productive. Thanks for spending your time with me today.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll see you next time. I'll see you at the gym.
See you at the gym.
All right.
See you guys in 5. Thanks for listening.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.